Welcome to SibSpot. Today's Reddit stories are from Entitled Parents. Story 1 is by No Pomegranate 4794. Should I keep putting my foot down against my mother who wants to track my phone? I am a 28 female, and I have a very overprotective mother. I also travel a lot for work. Well, my job had me coming into town so my mom could see me. I planned to meet her after the meeting, so I texted her. She kept calling me during the whole meeting despite me sending a message that I couldn't talk because I was in a meeting. When I'm finally done and about to call her, another coworker tells me that my mom is looking for me. She had come down to the place I was working, wandering the outside looking for me. When I called her, she said she was in tears, worried over me. The next day, she asks if she can install an app to track my cell phone. I told her that I didn't feel comfortable with that and had hoped she would leave it, but she kept pushing it until I said no. She keeps trying to coax me into getting it, saying things like, "I'll use it for emergencies." I said that was a slippery slope and I know her and it's going to reach a point where just emergencies turns into full-blown tracking my every movement. She also argued that she's getting better at not being so protective because she's going to therapy, and I told her, how about she asks the therapist what they think about her tracking me? At this point, she keeps bringing it up and I'm growing tired. I'm wondering if I should give in and put an end to the harassment, but at the same time I feel like that's enabling her. I don't know what to do anymore to put an end to this. You tell her no, and if she keeps bringing it up, you're going to spend less time with her. That's what you do. Mom, no, you cannot put a tracker on my phone. Don't ever bring it up, or we're not going to hang out at all anymore. I love you, I want to see you, but this is 100% no, and I'm not mean for saying so. That's how you handle it. And she's welcome to disagree, but it doesn't make a difference. And if she keeps harassing you about it, you have to cut back on the contact with her. She'll learn when she sees consequences to her actions. Down in the comments by 1968 Phantom. If she keeps turning up to your place of work and phoning during meetings, you could end up unemployed. You need to deal with this now, or your partner will be posting in JNMIL. I don't know that sub. JNMIL. I'm totally going to check that one out later. I'm sure it's something to do with mother-in-law, because MIL is usually that, but what is JN? I'll figure it out later, but I'm curious if any of you know. Underneath that by It's Just How I Am. This. Don't tell her where you're going to be if she's going to show up and embarrass you. When she asks why you won't tell her, say it's because she shows up and embarrasses you. Her issues are hers to deal with, not yours. Our next story today is by Dizzy Mama 107. I'm taking my mom to court. My mother has finally pushed me too far. I'm a 34 female. I cut contact with her back in 2021. She's always favored my son and he became her golden child. So she started trying to use the school to see him without mine or his father's permission after I cut her out of our lives. We quickly put a stop to it by speaking with the school, and my son's father sent a lengthy text to her to never manipulate the school system to get our son again, or we'd be taking legal action, and let her know that we'd spoken to the school about this and they were very aware of our feelings. She was mostly quiet for a while after that, but I caught her following me once and I evaded her. She even traveled to another state where my son's father's family vacations almost every year during Christmas. Luckily, my son happened to not be there that year. Well, recently she started secretly volunteering at my son's, who's 10, elementary school. She lives over an hour away, and she didn't tell the school she had any familial connections there, since she knows we had spoken to the school about her antics a while back. We assume she lied about her address to get approved since she lives so far away. Anyway, she somehow snuck out of the classroom she was volunteering in and asked another child to get my son out of the cafeteria and spent 15 minutes crying to him, telling him how unfair I've been and that she's never done anything wrong. That she has years of presents for him and he needs to come over to her house so he can have them. Worst of all, she told him not to tell anyone that she spoke with him or that he saw her. I felt like my mom was slowly calculating a way to eventually take him from the school. My son's father and I aren't together, but we immediately banded together and spoke to the school vice principal the next day and decided to file an injunction. The temporary injunction was approved within an hour of filing. I was immediately in tears. I was so relieved. Our hearing is coming up, and the closer it gets, the more I find myself questioning what I'm doing. I know I'm doing the right thing, but this situation just sucks. No one should have to protect themselves or their children from their own parent or grandparent. It's such an awful feeling. I wish she would have just respected our boundaries, but she's clearly incapable of that. I tried so hard to make her understand my boundaries before I cut contact with her. Her entitlement to my son was disgusting. She demanded seeing him, talking to him, and got very nasty and angry with me if I didn't oblige or had other plans and I couldn't fit her in. She would constantly slip and call him her son. I guess I'm triggered, and back in childhood me, feeling helpless and scared. I feel bad that I've had to go this far. I feel terrible that she's been severed. I know I shouldn't feel bad because she's probably more embarrassed and worried about how this makes her look more than anything. It's probably a long shot, but have any of you all experienced something like this? I've never been to court. Even when my son's father and I divorced, we were able to settle on our own. I have no idea what to expect, and I'm scared. I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear her lie in court or cry and manipulate. But I know it's coming. This situation is heartbreaking. I can guarantee you the comments are going to recommend therapy for you. Your mom. This sounds like the sort of crazy that movies are made of. She calls him her child. She feels so entitled to be around him that she's psychotic. Is there any way that you guys can move away from where she lives? Because this actually sounds dangerous. She could abduct him someday. It's just not good. And yes, it's sad. You never want to cut your parents out if they really love your child, but she's not stable and she's not respecting your boundaries. Our next story today is by Working Statement 38. Father-in-law won't shut up. This weekend was tough. I've been with my partner for 5 years, and I have known my in-laws for that amount of time as well. This weekend, my father came down because he had just bought my husband a new lawnmower. Not to be ungrateful, but my husband wanted to do that for himself because we just bought our first house. Annoyed, but whatever. When we went out to dinner with some acquaintances and close friends, and my father-in-law was saying he was getting the bill for everyone. They have always done this. My friend asked about our house. His father-in-law interrupted and said, "Oh, it's great. Putting in the floor at the end of the month." My husband and I just discussed redoing our floor and said it lightly. And my father-in-law made that decision, just to do it. Not happy. Then he says to an acquaintance, "Yeah, if you need a house, just let me know. I'll buy it for you." Implying we did not buy our house. Little backstory is I'm the only person on the loan. My husband's name is on it after we signed. But everything was in my name, not my husband's or my in-laws. I did. I wanted to speak up, but due to the fact that my husband was right next to me, if I said, "Oh no, it's in my name, my husband's name is not even on the house," I would be insulting my partner, so I held my tongue. I also came home that day to find my bathroom a mess. My father-in-law took my toilet paper roll holder off the wall because he broke it. We could have just placed it back on. My father-in-law doesn't tell us and just goes to the store. He comes back and patches the hole when he decides to start patching the whole bathroom. And it was just redone, so my new bathroom has holes in it and patchwork all over. We didn't have any more paint and had no idea what the color is, due to them redoing it before we moved in. There is dust and stuff all over the bathroom, and the parts of the toilet roll paper holder all over. I'm pregnant, so I can't do any of the sanding or painting due to the bathroom being such a small space. My father-in-law left finally, but now we have a big mess on our hands. You have to set boundaries. You've got to talk to your partner and insist with him that he sets boundaries. He's got to make sure your father-in-law is not being disrespectful to you in front of other people, and he's got to make sure that he doesn't just do things without consulting you first. You are the homeowners. Father-in-law doesn't get to touch anything or fix anything without consulting you and getting permission. A big part of the reason I wanted to share this story is I learned a phrase today called gray rocking. Down in the comments by Careless Image 885, change your locks if he has a key. He sounds overbearing and obnoxious. Learn to gray rock. You and your husband need to have some serious conversations about boundaries. Do not wait until things get worse or the baby comes. Apparently, gray rocking is when you deal with somebody who is toxic or bothers you in some big way by completely ignoring what they're doing, giving no credence to what they're doing. I think first step should definitely be talk to your partner, make him set boundaries. And you can both talk to your father-in-law and say, don't touch anything in our home unless we say. You need to be stern with him. He's probably a big scary guy himself though. But gray rocking, you pretty much tune somebody out. You ignore them. Our last story today is by Carrie Darling. Sister gets offered a promotion at work that my mom turned down. Mom is feeling bitter over it. Not sure if this belongs here. If not, I'll repost to the appropriate subreddit. I'm a 27 female, my mom is 57, and my sister is 23. We all work the same job on a military base. All three of us are hard workers, but my mom is a very negative Nancy, and everyone at work, including the managers, knows this. Doesn't take much to piss her off, but she does her job right, and she's pretty quick at it too. In all honesty, it's a wonder she got offered the promotion at all, considering her horrible attitude. When offered the promotion, however, my mom turned it down, claiming she wouldn't be able to deal with all the stress. They accepted no for an answer and moved on. Fast forward to now, several months later, and my sister gets offered the promotion. Not only is my sister a hard worker, but she also has a great attitude. She does her very best to see the silver lining in even the most annoying and inconvenient of situations. She has so many people impressed that everyone wants her in their department. I don't know whether my sister accepted it or not, but she called me about 20 minutes ago and told me that she told her mom about the offer, thinking she'd be happy for her, and to warn me that she was instead in a terrible mood over my sister getting offered the promotion, and was even threatening to quit her job over it. I guess when my mom turned down the offer, she didn't really mean no. She was instead expecting them to cry and beg to get on their knees and kiss her feet and tell her they'll do anything for her if she'll just take the position. Edit, to all the people telling my sister to take the promotion, I will absolutely try and talk her into it, and thank you to everyone for all the kind comments. If she doesn't take it, I'll be heartbroken because I'm so very proud and happy for her. Yes, she should take this promotion. Get paid more money. Why not? What could your mom possibly do to hurt her in this situation? She should definitely take the job. Moving on up to the east side and beyond your mom. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have a glorious day.